things. Talk about the current economy, the misinformation out there, and how 6 million acres are still missing. Epic, what's up? Nephew, what it do? I got to make sure you guys can hear me. How's that? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Like I say, family, we're going to talk about the current economy. And if you didn't get a chance to check me out, the last video I did a couple of videos a couple of days ago. I did a video on Jay-Z. I did a video on Brian McKnight, and got some pretty polarizing comments. And I thought they were pretty cool. And it's just amazing how people have different perspectives and opinions. Oh, Axel, y'all remember you? Okay, Epic Slayer. Oh, Axel, no doubt, I remember you. Yeah, thanks for being in the garden. Yeah, but like I said, family, uh, it's amazing how people have different opinions. And I thought what also was amazing on the Brian McKnight video, how when I looked at the comments, there was some polarizing opinions, and I thought it was pretty interesting that a lot of the opinions were steered more toward a gender type of situation. I kind of noticed how from the man's side, from the males, it was more you know Brian and I had, he needed to defend himself, and he had the right to defend himself, and he could discipline his children any way he wanted, this and the third. I thought that was cool. He did, but I also thought it was interesting that the females that was in the garden, made it a point where his focus on child support, or the fact that wasn't a lot of focus on the fact his daughter was raped, and nothing was done about it on his end. And so I just thought that was pretty interesting. So like I say, people have different opinions. That's the beautiful thing about having your own mind and having a platform where you can kind of give different perspectives on different situations. But like I say, even stories like that, and well as stories like the Jay-Z and the football situation, I thought that's interesting as well, because uh, when I talk about wealth today, and that's why I want to talk about the current economy, wealth is land. And I did a couple of videos earlier about how, there's land, and how land is the best asset other than your health, simply for the fact that, with land, it's something that you can not only gain passive income from, but it can also appreciate over time due to property values. And so you also have two things, like I said, you have the surface and mineral rights of land ownership. And I thought that was interesting. But also, too, family, current economy right now. If you don't know, I've been talking about how the market is going to have a recession or have some type of depression soon, simply for the fact that the type of economy we have, where it's a capitalist economy, and it's based on debt. And anytime you have an economy that's based on debt, it's going to be highs and lows. And so right now, we've had the longest, what they call boom economy in a while. I mean, we're talking, it's been almost 9 years, 10 years almost since the last major recession that happened. That was like 2008, 2009. And so it's normally 4 to 7 years for something to happen. So that tells you, and it tells a lot of people that's being conscious of what's going on geopolitically, that it's going to be a good time soon. Now, for those that are paying themselves first, and those that are, basically, you know, having that emergency fund, having that investment fund, because I do definitely recommend, like I said, for entertainment purposes only, but I do definitely recommend that you stack cash, because I don't know when it's going to happen, because nobody can actually know, but I definitely know that in the next 12 to 18 months, somewhere in that time frame, I mean, give or take, I mean, something got to give. And like I said, we've been in this type of market a long time. And if you can just look at the indicators, I mean, right now, President Trump just said he wants to cut payroll taxes. All right. So what's cutting payroll? Cutting payroll taxes mean they want to have more people that's working receive more money from the check, weekly, bi-weekly, a monthly, however often you get paid. Then you should see a higher net income on that check once the payroll tax is cut. And what is that? What is that done? To stimulate the economy in hopes that people will buy more. Now, anytime you basing, the economy or basing some type of stimulus from cutting taxes and hoping people spend more money, that's not a good sign. All right. And like I say, even with, like I said, I want to go back to even with the Jay-Z situation, even with Uber, him being investing like $70 million in Uber. I mean, when the market crashes, man, he's gonna lose a lot of money. I mean, because Uber is a new company. They haven't even made much profit yet. You can look that up. Okay. Hey, if you feeling like good, okay, thanks for joining the garden, Brandon. If you're in a situation where you have stocks, you have investments, then I think it's a wise decision to check. See what your year-to-date percentage growth has been, or your capital gain has been over the last 5 years, and see if you've seen some decline in it. Because see, if you've seen a decline in your capital gains, then that's an indication as well. And other companies that you're investing in, you need to check out what their EPS is, and EPS is earnings per share. You need to find out what their earnings have been, and if their earnings are down, then of course you're gonna get caught in the shuffle if people start selling or these institutions start selling off, and then you stuck out, and you still you bought it way up here, and now it's done crashed on you because you haven't done your due diligence to look into your investments. And right away, Brandon mentioned the retail apocalypse is real. Sears is closing a lot of stores, family. Uh, I mean, I'm in Houston, and just down the road, even the malls are closing. All right. I mean, it's a ghost town around here. And why is it happening? Because of Amazon. Amazon and online trading. I mean, not online trading, but online shopping. And so the brick and mortar stores are seeing a serious hit. Okay. The auto industry right now is seeing a serious hit. And see, this is news that they're not saying. Ty, what's going on? Okay. This is news they're not saying. And so when you get caught up and looking at the fake news, you forget that the economy, which Trump is saying it's a great economy. We have the greatest stock market ever. Family, every 4 to 7 years, 4 to 7, there's normally a recession. There's normally a correction in the economy. Why? Because you have a debt-laden economy. Anytime your economy is based on debt, it's going to have to correct itself every now and then. That's why since we've had this type of economy, there's been ups and lows, ups and downs. I mean, do the research. And so if you are an investor right now, I would definitely make sure you check your portfolio to find out what your earnings, find out what your companies are earning. Okay. Well, Tenshi, that's a good question. I would definitely look into investing in electric cars. And what I mean by electric cars, that means solar. Not the solar, but what's it called? The lithium batteries, the companies that produce lithium batteries, the lithium stocks. And of course, we're going to have a shift in what they call fuel, but no time soon. I mean, family, remember, BP and these big oil companies, they still pretty much run the world. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, yes, exactly. Circuit City, exactly. And if you just kind of think about a lot of the stores, like Brandon said, since the 2000s, because of the online shopping, all right? And that was a great question about the electric cars. Uh, let's keep it real. I mean, I kind of want to have more control over my transportation mode. You did? I mean, electric cars are cool, but what if, like say, electric cars, you have to have them charged, and you know, the type of batteries used, which is lithium batteries. But do you really trust these companies to actually have advertised 100,000 miles before the car to go down, and it actually happens? You know, how much are we going to find out about the people that are having problems with electric cars? They're not going to put that in the news right now. Okay, so I do feel there's going to be a shift one day, but no time soon. Okay, remember, uh, Iran is being targeted right now because of the BP situation, British Petroleum. All right, so Venezuela is being targeted right now because of the oil situation. So uh, no, I think in America and more of the developed countries, there may be a small shift to electric cars, but believe me, until the big companies bring it to the table, long as oil is king, electric cars are gonna still be somewhat of a fad right now. I mean, in my estimation, the stuff what I've seen, because lithium battery stocks, electric car stocks. I mean, look at Tesla. I mean, the volatility in that company right now lets you know that electric cars are not going to take over like that. Yeah, and like I said, the economy is in a bad situation. So don't believe the hype, family. So, like I said, pay yourself first. Definitely put yourself in some cash. And some of the misconceptions that people are telling you, don't listen to a lot of these people out here telling you about a lot of, you need to put your money in certain things that are illiquid. Like I said, I'm not a person that advocate gold. I think people that are already rich, yeah, I think that's a nice way to hedge when you can get gold. But when you're still trying to build wealth, I mean, why would you take your cash and put it in gold? When the U.S. dollar may go down, and when you go to the store, no one's gonna. You can't buy anything with gold. You can't buy eggs. You can't buy milk. You can't buy food. You can't buy medicine with gold. So I think things that are more liquid during a time of economic fragilities, I think it should be more things that are liquid, cash, real estate, things that can be collateralized where you can get cash quick. I mean, remember, gold is being dictated by people. I mean, what gold was $1,200 an ounce not too long ago. Now it's like $1,500 an ounce. All right. I mean, it topped at $1,900, and now it's kind of pulled back to $1,500. So why would you want to put your money in something that's that volatile? You did? And so, like I said, the state of the current economy, family, is a lot more in flux than what the television is saying. And so, when you listen to these people, make sure that you have an open mind and do your own research, all right? And just kind of use common sense. I mean, use your neighborhood, for example, okay? I mean, look at the cars on the road, or lack thereof. Look how many people are taking Lyft and Uber. Okay. So I want to come back with the current state of the economy. I also want to come back with some misinformation about the current state. How you probably want to look into uh, cash. A lot of people are moving away from U.S. Treasury bills and bonds because remember, we kind of living in a fiat system where the Federal Reserve just makes money, and anytime you're making money and it's not built on anything tangible, i.e., gold. Remember, our fiat system is built on, we have military bases in 74 countries. We have over 100,000, we have hundreds of thousands of soldiers uh, located all over the world. And so when you look at our fiat system and ask yourself, what is it built on and what keeps this system going? The military and oil. I mean, use a little common sense. I mean, when the economy, the budget is $1.3 trillion, and we know there are hundreds of thousands of people that are homeless, hundreds of thousands of military vets that are in medical situations, hundreds of thousands of children that are homeless in dire straight situations. But 750 to 760 billion dollars of that budget go to the military. Come on, man. Don't take a rocket scientist. Since you're stacking up on food, basic goods, like I say, I would even go one further. How about growing your own food? You did? You know, Stacking up on food is good, but like I say, if you're gonna go through that process of okay, you know, building up your domestic needs, you know, growing your own food or having more healthy food around is I think is a more tangible effort. But also too, Costco is a great way of doing it because you know going back and forth to the stores. I mean, in a minute, gas is going to be pretty expensive. You did, and so you want to make sure that you kind of you know look at your current ratio. What I mean by current ratio, family, the amount of money you have coming in opposed to what's going out. If you want to make sure it's more going in than going out, you want to make sure that your assets are real assets and not liabilities. Okay, your car can be a liability if one you're paying a car note on it, and two it's using a lot of fuel. All right, think of what I think. Jason, let's see here. What I think about business credit for a corporation. Anytime that you can do your due diligence and have the discipline to build up your credit and to be able to acquire business credit, that's always a good thing. Because remember, there's something called bad debt and good debt, right? We get scared when it comes to debt. But we ought to understand when we use monies from a loan to build money, that's good debt. All right. I need to go back to Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Get that book because that's a great book, and it actually illustrates, you know, in a really layman terms way of the difference between, actually building wealth, right, or opposed to trying to get rich. And it's hard to get rich, family, working for somebody because that person's always going to dictate your wealth. You did? And that's a great resource. I mean, it's a great resource. So, family, like I say, do your due diligence and understand that this economy isn't a great economy. It's time for a crash. Right now, they have the world leaders meeting at the G7 summit, and you have to ask yourself: you have the Amazon rainforest, having these fires right now, right? Why isn't it's a collective effort by the G7 world leaders and sending resources over there to calm down the fire or put the fire out? Why shouldn't it be like a world effort? I mean, at any time, if there's any type of international catastrophe going on, wouldn't right now be the time where they come together and say, hey, let's go over there and take care of that? You did? That's why you have to understand that it's not uh, everything that's this is built up to be. It's a lot of misinformation. Okay, and so the fiat system, family, is based on our military being all over the world, and this economy is based on a phony Ponzi scheme economy, stock market, which is going to crash soon. And then, of course, I also mentioned there are 6 million acres missing. 6 million acres stolen. And what I'm talking about, family, we talked about land ownership. Well, there was back from 1950 to 1969, there was 6 million acres of land pretty much dispossessed by the federal government, given from taken from black farmers. It's not an accident down in the South. You don't have a lot of black farmers, Afro-melanated farmers. You must ask, where did they go? They just disappear? No, they didn't. The federal government dispossessed most of that land. Okay, through a lot of policies that they wrote, and in a 19-year period, 6 million acres of land was pretty much stolen. All right, and so when you get into these different conversations about, well, let's talk about a certain number. They never talk about numbers. Well, that's a number that's pretty transparent. You can look that up. All right, and it happened. Guess when it happened? During the civil rights era. So when Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. But that's metaphoric. Why not bring up the fact that it was 6 million acres of land pretty much dispossessed by the federal government? Okay. So when you have misinformation, you hear these people like Danny Glove and you hear these people talk about reparations, but they never talk about anything tangible. Powernomics, yes, by Dr. Claude Anderson. Great resource. Yes, great resource. Dr. Claude Anderson, he's one that's a big advocate of Black economics and teaching about real perspective information, like the economy, like companies. And if you want to invest in a company, or if you're invested in a company, what are some of the things that you can do to find out yourself if the company's doing well? Like I mentioned earlier, find out what their earnings per share is. That's transparent information. You can get that information by going to SEC.gov, or you go to Bloomberg, or you go to Zacks Investments, or you go to Yahoo Finance, and it gives you the company. Let's take for instance AT&T or Ford. You can go and find out how much earnings per share, what their earnings were every 3 months, which is every quarter. And so if you're invested in Ford, you can say, wait a minute, they didn't earn much money based on what the projections were. And when you see that, family, a lot of people trade on that. And so you can hedge your financial assets by knowing this type of information, right? And then just looking at their quarterly reports. You can be somewhat active as an investor and still have a life, right? That's why it's a lot of people make a lot of money day trading, option trading. See, this is stuff that they don't tell us about. Okay, so do your due diligence, family. Make sure you look into that information, real information. Like I said, they are talking about uh, lowering the payroll payroll deduction with the payroll tax rather, talking about lowering the payroll tax so that you can receive more money in a check, so you can become more of a consumer. Okay, so remember, instead of becoming more of a consumer, use whatever extra money you have in your check to pay yourself first, or pay yourself more, and get yourself ready for this stock market crash. All right. Well, fam, I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm glad you joined me in the garden. Let's see here. Epic, who me, Brandon, Randomation, Ty's World, Tishi, Jason. Appreciate you guys and being with us, Audi 5000. And may the Most High Saudi bring you joy. And I'm out.